What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kramer, and in this video, I want to share something that I've been doing to get more guests to book with me and have them leave better reviews. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so I've been getting a lot of messages on Furnished Finder recently, and I was just kind of thinking about how the whole process works. Essentially, the travel nurse or whoever needs housing reaches out, everybody sends back a very generic response, and we just sit back hoping, praying that they're going to book our property. And I realized that I had to be doing something else to stand out and actually get these people to book, because if they're talking with 5 or 10 other people, what's going to make them choose my property over someone else's? And something I realized, especially for these travel nurses and people who are staying for a couple months, it's not just about the property. It's about you as a host. And I started to put myself in their shoes and think, okay, if I'm going to be staying at a property for 3 months, besides the property being clean and having the amenities I need and all the basic stuff, what else is important for me? And for me, it's for me to know that the host is normal. If they're relatable, even better, but just that they're a normal, good host. So what I started to do is just start being more relatable to my guests. And this stuff might sound small, but I promise you it makes a huge difference. So just to give you an example, I had someone reach out on Furnished Finder. We were chatting back and forth, and then I sent over the lease for them to sign. A couple hours went by, and I wondered, why haven't they signed the lease yet? So I sent them a message and said, hey, no rush at all. Just wanted to check in and see if you had any questions for me after looking at the lease. And she replied and said, hi, this is my first travel position, so I'm not sure what the lease terms are like everywhere else. Is it always a fixed lease? Meaning, is it always like a standard 3 months, or is it typically month to month? So after I saw that, I'm like, wow. So she had more questions. I don't know why she didn't ask it on her own, but I've seen this a lot with travel nurses and really anybody. They don't want to go out of their way to ask these questions. They want us hosts to predict what they're going to ask us and give them the information. So for her, I answered a question, but then where I became relatable is I said, also, congrats on your first travel contract. My girlfriend is in grad school to become a physical therapist, and I'm pushing her to try the travel route for a little bit. So by me letting her know that, number one, congratulations on taking your first travel contract, right? To acknowledging her. Number two, letting her know that I have a girlfriend in grad school completely relates to her because she was probably in grad school not too long ago either. And then number three, I told her that I'm trying to push my girlfriend to do travel PT as well to make this person feel more comfortable and more understood. And then long story short, me and this travel nurse who was just inquiring about my property, we started talking about where she wants to travel to next after this destination. She was telling me about her favorite cities and states to go to. And we got into this whole long conversation. And it might seem like, well, Bailey, you're just there to house her. Why are you like talking to her and asking her where she wants to go for her next rotation, all this stuff? It comes down to building that relationship and making sure she feels comfortable staying at my property. So if you take the interaction I had with her and you compare it to probably every other host in my market, no other host asked her any questions. No other host made her feel comfortable. And even though my property was a little bit above her budget, she went with my property because, again, she felt good and safe with me. Another quick example that happened literally yesterday as well on the Airbnb side. So I had someone there for a short stay, and they let me know that they're in town for a gymnastics competition. So instead of just leaving it at that and saying, oh, okay, great, looking forward to hosting you, I became relatable with them and talked about my past experience of watching my sisters at their gymnastics and dance competitions. So again, being more relatable to your guests, whether it's a personal connection you have, or maybe you're drawing or borrowing friends' experiences. If you can be relatable, it's going to make the guests feel more comfortable. It's going to make them feel like you understand them. You've been in their shoes before. It'll build the trust and ultimately lead to better reviews. And on the travel nurse side, it'll lead to them actually booking your property against the competition. So I hope that little trick helped, and you guys can use this when talking with your next potential guest. So that's all I got, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.